the second part in what SSRs to go for. Today we'll be talking about PR2. Now this one, there's only 4 of them because there are 2 UR ships right here, FDG and Azuma. So there's not many for this time around, but it's still sizable things to talk about. This time around, there aren't as many like crazy ones compared to the prior season, but there are some good ships in here. Depending on what kind of playstyle you want, there are certain interesting ships in here. Now again, if you guys don't care about which ship you want to go first, you get the ones you like. Let's say you like Gas Cone, you like Kitsukaze, then go for them. As I explained before in a prior video, if you like a specific ship, just go for them, because at the end of the day, you're probably not going to get developer 30 in time to make them absolutely useful. So it doesn't matter. You're going to unlock them all eventually regardless. With that being said, let's get right into it. Starting with Seattle. Seattle, she's one of those ships where you can use her as like a pretty decent damage dealer for gunboats, or you can use her for anti-air. Her primary usage right now is for World 12 and World 13 if you're on your way there or trying to farm it for whatever reason. She's a very, very good ship here because she has 2 slots for anti-air. I'm going to show you guys right here. She has 2 slots for anti-air, and this makes her like pretty damn good for world 13 and whatnot. So not that slot, but the second slot right here you can use as anti-air or gun or whatever. So if you want to use like say 2 Seattle guns, well mine are full right now, you can go ahead and do that, and that's perfectly fine. I hope. Okay, I'm just gonna do this for the sake of it. You slot in 2 of these and you're good to go, right? So you have 2 main guns. You can honestly just do this honestly, and you'll be good to go. You get it mixed, you get everything you want. Or you can just do 2. This works okay. It has some good AA. This is probably the slot I would do because you get some AA stats from it. But her primary usage is for World 12, World 13 for anti-air. If you're struggling with killing the planes and whatnot at World 12, World 13, you use her there. Now for general usage, I don't think it's that good. Like there are way better damage dealers out there compared to Seattle. But again, she's not bad because she has Siren Killer, and this already puts her on top of most ships because 15% damage increase on Sirens is pretty good. But then again, if you're doing like OS content and whatnot, there aren't that many Sirens outside boss nodes, so you don't really want to have her as a boss fleet ship, so it's kind of whatever. But she has some great anti-air, some pretty good firepower. I say overall, not a bad ship worth investing into. Not a bad ship whatsoever. Let's talk the next ship. Go here. This is probably the best one in the batch, Georgia. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know why Georgia's super strong as of right now. She's one of the premier battleships in the research group, and she's very, very powerful. We have Iron Sight, decrease the ship's main gun spread by 3, which is really good. It makes her very, very accurate. This right here is absolutely disgusting. If you guys don't know, the lower the spread is on a gun, the way better it is. So I'm gonna talk, for example, let's say a commonly used gun right here, if I can find one, which is gonna be the 406 MK6. This one right here. It has a spread of, if I can find it, of 19. If you use this gun a lot, you guys can see how sometimes one of the shells just like fly off to like Canada or like China or something, and it's not even close, right? So if her main skill or her skill makes it so it's decreased to 3, it brings the shells closer together, meaning they're more likely to hit if you're aiming correctly. If you aim exactly on the boss with a spread of 16, because that's her skill, it's most likely going to hit compared to a spread of 19. So it is very, very good. It makes her very, very accurate. You don't have to rely on like, oh, let's just keep resetting until we get all the shells to hit. No. It makes her very, very accurate. Very, very powerful skill indeed. And that's just the first part. The second part is increased damage to CAs, or heavy cruisers, large cruisers, battleships, and BBVS. Not to mention, if you have her at Fate Simulation 5, she also gets carrier damage as well, and light carriers also the same at, well, I was capped at 10. Oh, slightly less, but still very, very good. Very, very good skill right there. So this skill right here, absolutely disgusting. And a barrage chance of 80%. I think as of right now, without the 100%, in terms of RNG chance barrages, this is probably the highest one. I think most ships right now are like, well, aside from like the 40%, I'm not talking about those, the 70% and the 75%. Georgia has probably the highest one that's not 100% guaranteed. I don't think there's 85, 90%. I'm pretty sure she's the highest one. 80%, 4 and 5 chances, very, very high, very, very good. And then we have Siren Killer right here. So again, a very good barrage. The barrage is very, very good on stationary targets. So if you have a target that doesn't move a lot, it is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Very accurate. Has a very strong utility skill right here. And overall, just a very powerful ship. Good firepower, good efficiency and whatnot. If I can see right here, or it's on the Google or whatever, but I'm pretty sure you can find it somewhere. A very good ship. Highly recommend. Very, very powerful. Kitsukaze, her spot in like any fleet is kind of whatever. Now she's a very, very powerful DD. Don't get me wrong. Probably top 2, I'd say, as of right now, next to Suzuki. A very, very good ship. Now, I wouldn't find a perfect spot in her in like endgame content, because even though she is very, very powerful, her survivability is kind of whatever compared to some ships. And if all ships are taking damage, she's not going to do very, very well. But don't get me wrong, she's a very powerful ship. I say her best uniqueness as of right now, her usefulness as of right now, is you kind of treat her like Suzu. In the sense that Suzu is very good for farming events like D3 and whatnot. You use her for farming D3, and not only that, because there are a lot of Siren nodes at D3 for events, she can get the most out of Siren Killer, this skill right here. So very, very good. Is it a high priority? Not really. If you're gonna get her a developer 30 regardless, but she's a good ship to have if you want to say like just have a easier time farming D3 events. A very good ship. And now we have Gascon. Gascon, this is probably like the least favored ship out of the bunch for me. Her purpose is like supposed to be like a tank BB, because she has a lot of durability, evasion, sustainability with the health regen and whatnot. So she's a really, really durable flagship. Now, in terms of damage though, it's kind of whatever, because she has a very short cooldown on her barrage, just like Champagne. But the barrage is really scuffed. It's like, it feels like it does no damage. It feels really, really bad. Like it's really awful compared to like some other barrages in this game. So I'm not an entirely big fan of her kit. She's very, very durable, don't get me wrong. But there are a lot of durable ships out there, and the durability for main fleets in this game is like one of the least priorities, I'd say, in this game. Like the only real way for ships to die in the backline is if you're doing like OS content, you're just eating planes for days, or like you go against the battleship Siren that's like 128 that has like increased fire damage to backline or whatever. That's probably gonna knock you out. But for the most part though, it's a durable ship, but doesn't offer much for offense. If you're gonna run a full French fleet, you're better off doing like JB, Richelieu, and Champagne. So my priorities as of right now, that I'd say if you guys want to work on, Georgia, obviously. I think a lot of people can agree that Georgia is the best SSR ship from the PR2 batch. After that, Seattle is probably pretty good. And then after that, you can do Kitsukaze and Gascon. Now, again, they're not bad ships, but in terms of priorities, or like what you want to focus on getting first, I wouldn't put them super, super high up. There are a lot of ships that does what they can do at the same level or slightly worse, but they require less investments, meaning they don't require you to unlock the ship, they don't require you to get 365 prints and whatnot. You just gacha for them or whatever, and you're good to go. So again, they're not bad ships. Don't like investing into them first unless you really like the ship. Georgia, followed by Seattle, then Kitsukaze and Gascon. Those are my ratings for you guys. Enjoy the video. I'll see you guys in the third one.